Well, probably there's less drag through the water.
That'll all be explained in an article I'm writing for Scientific American about this kind of racing. You'll understand it. It's high-tech aeronautical engineering, guys. Guaranteed.
Well, here's a great head-on shot of these two swamp buggies in the stock class. Going wide, looks like rubber duck. They're foul over there on the banks.
Yeah, well, remember, that's where Lonnie Cheshire got in trouble, so I hope that Chima stays away from the shoreline there, because there is some heavy-duty rocks over there.
And look at this. Arnold is mounting a challenge. He carried a lot of speed out of that last turn as they enter the Sippy hole for the second time. This has turned out to be a terrific battle.
If that was the end of the race, I think Arnold would have won it by nose. There is they now head down for the final lap. Arnold on the wide track here, Steve. He's got to go all the way around Chima if he's going to win this thing.
Well, what he needs to do is get in front of Chima and just kind of cut him off and put him in his way.
But Chima's still forcing Arnold out to that wide line. As a result, coming off the corner, a little greater distance, he comes back. But Chima almost got in serious trouble on the backstretch hole there. Arnold came through a little bit cleaner, but is still trying to play catch-up.
And where Chima had that little problem is exactly the same place we saw Lonnie Cheshire fall.
All right, here comes Chima heading for the finish line. He's got about another 150 yards toward victory, but Arnold has fallen back a little bit, Paul.
I'll tell you what, I think Arnold should have draped some sort of cloth or something over those wheels so Chima couldn't have seen it, but maybe now they're paying off. Maybe that bolt pattern is the real trick here. Oh, no. Chima comes out of the hole first, and Chima, Captain Crunch, wins in the stock category.
Boy, don't these winners know where the trophies are. An immediate left turn to pick up the gold, and that is a very depressed Lonnie Cheshire. Not just because he lost that heat race, but because that crewman just informed him that that motor is junk.
And Steve, that's no laughing matter, believe me, because the guys like Lonnie and Leonard Cheshire and Terry Langford and the rest of these fellas that run these big block Chevys, they spend some serious bucks on these motors. And now let's go to Paul with Ken Chima.
Well, Ken, you were looking great out there. That was a super race.
Well, we had a lot of fun doing it. I'm glad that the stock class is starting to come into its own now.
Were you worried about it at any point?
Oh, yes. I didn't know what was going to happen. I never raced that buggy before, so it was just anyone's guess at the starting line, and he put up a good show, and either one of us could have won it. We were that much evenly matched.
Yeah, but the Captain Crunch did, and that's what matters. All right, best to you. Thank you very much.
Maybe next year they'll put the stock winner into the little feature. Ah, yes, what would the Swamp Classic be without the Swamp Princesses? Stay with us.
The magnificent Port Royal in Naples, Florida. Are you tired of the northern winters? You have, say, $4, maybe $5 million laying around in your safe deposit box? Well, you could own one of these unbelievable homes. Now, say you don't have that kind of money. Well, then you're out here with us at Florida Sports Park, and you're watching the swamp. As we're ready now for the two-wheel drive V8 class. Awesome power. There's Roger McCandless, a 6-year veteran of swamp buggy racing. The machine is rat on, and it's a great example of swamp technology.
Brock, Paul, I hate to do this to you guys, but here's another marine application on Roger McCandless's rat on. That is marine hydraulic steering. You can see the hydraulic lines and the piston that goes to the steering arm. Now, I'll fill you in on why he's gone to that in just a bit. Take a look at the beautiful bodywork on this buggy. He has narrowed it up tremendously so that there is less drag through the water, and it's got to go quicker without the real wide prow on it. So what about the flotation we talked about earlier over the deep water? Well, take a look at the size of the skis. Roger says the front tires on this buggy are more for getting it out of the pits to the starting line than anything else. The majority of the race, the front wheels are off the ground. So how do you steer it? That's why these are solid wheels. They act like a rudder, which is why we go back to that marine hydraulic steering. With conventional steering, you could not control this buggy. As Roger said, it would put you right into the cheap seats. You've got to have the power of hydraulic steering to hang on to this buggy. And the faster they go, the more they're going to need that kind of steering on these very, very fast machines.
Just tell me one place in the world that you're going to find a round rudder, and I'll give in.
All right, you guys, let's hold on the debate, because the man in that yellow buggy is the winners, one of them all, Leonard Cheshire. That's the one. Arch rival of Roger McCandless has got to be the underdog, even though he's got a really high-tech buggy right now.
Oh, there is no love lost in this one. It's another really classic swamp match race. And look at Leonard. That's the one. Roger McCandless certainly has a little more current technology in his buggy, but he can't out-muscle Leonard so far.
All right, there is McCandless trying to catch up. Leonard Cheshire on the inside, heading down toward the front straightaway. Look at Leonard, one-handed. Is that confidence or what, you guys?
Well, he's got a Necker's knob on that steering wheel, and it gets a lot of exercise.
I tell you what, make all the fun you want to of Chester. This guy really understands how to drive this race. A pure tactician. He got into the corner to get that great inside line. And watch here. Remember, this has been a problem to some other machines on the backstretch. But he gets out and gets wide, gets around that bump that has been a difficulty for everybody else. And Chester heads now into the final set of turns, still with his hand clamped firmly on that rollover bar as he fights the lateral G's that this tremendous tractor is putting up.
Well, he's going to sail across. Look at this. Leonard is broken inches from the finish line, and McCandless will win it.
McCandless' family and friends have gone absolutely wild. His engine sounded like it had a miss in it. I thought, well, he's all done. He thought he was all done, too.
Oh, yeah.
But really all done is Leonard Cheshire. Oh, boy, I'll tell you, the crowd is hushed at this moment, and so is Leonard's wife, Lynn. She's not real crazy about it either.
Well, he apparently had it won. I mean, he was only about 3 feet from the finish line. Now, Lynn going to take a look at Leonard down there, still in a sippy hole. Here he comes, headed for an apparent and rather easy victory. One hand on the roll bar, customary Leonard Cheshire driving style. And all of a sudden, Paul, he stops. I think maybe it might have been a driveline failure or something. It didn't seem like, I would imagine if he lost a few cylinders, he could have chugged across the line.
I've never seen one roar to a stop quite that quickly. He just plowed into the sippy hole, and it was over immediately. Let's go to Steve now with the winner.
Do you believe in miracles?
Yes, I do. And you must be present to win. So the biggest part of the job was to be there.
And you got a little red mark on your head. Is that from this last heat?
Yeah, my head hit the roll bar. I blew a tire and it hit the bank back there and bruised me up a little bit. But
That's the left front tire, I think?
Yeah. I'm on the run now on the flat, which is...
Well, injured driver and injured machine, they're going to have to head down to the local tractor supply store and get a new tire for that one. And also, what an upset with Leonard Cheshire out. Now Brock Yates is with Leonard.
Well, Leonard, you know, they talk about snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. You had it won. You had him smoked off, and then it just flat broke. How many feet from the line did she actually quit on you?
I don't know, look about maybe 2 foot.
What broke?
I think it sucked some valves, turning them hard. There ain't no water out there today. They turn it hard.
It just shut right down without a warning, or did you?
Yeah,
was you starting to burble a little bit?
No, it just shut right down. No warning, just blew. No nothing.
Well, I'll tell you what.
They'll run a little farther than that. You could have made it on across there if you're far enough ahead.
Of course, these things don't coast too good, do they, in the water?
They put the brakes on.
Well, we know that the title will remain spiritually in your hands anyway. We'll see you back here. I know that you'll be back.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Something don't happen. I'll be here.
You gave her a hell of a show while you lasted.
All right, that's everything, y'all.
Well, we will see Leonard a little later in the 6-cylinder, 2-wheel drive buggies. In the meantime, in the 4-cylinder, 2-wheel drive class, Roy Ortega's having difficulties.
Well, there's a problem here with the Terminator buggy of Roy Ortega. Roy is crawling out of the cockpit. All was thought to be well. He hit the switch, and nothing happened. The engine would not turn over. They're ripped the cowling off right now. They've only got a couple of minutes to find out whatever this problem might be. Roy himself getting into the act, asking for a wrench. So we hope certainly that this buggy gets to the starting line, because it is one of the most exciting in all of swampdom.
And just like the Cheshire operation, Ortega has a couple of buggies entered in this one, too. And this is his second machine. Let's hope he can get it started.
Well, Terry Langford's got some problems as well, Paul. They've discovered a bent frame on the rubber duck, so they're hard at work on that one. So everybody's having a little bit of problems. Fortunately, though, he's got a bye, so he doesn't have to go to the line like McCandless does right away.
Back over in the Terminator pits, they continue to work on that machine. Still not a sound comes from it as they struggle with it. Steve Evans is right there and continuing to watch Roy Ortega. Look at him. He's pushing at the starter button, trying to get it going. Steve?
Well, an update, guys, on the Ortega problem. They hit the starter button. You can hear the solenoid click, but it doesn't seem to be engaging the starter, and so far, no progress.
So we've got some problems here in the pits at Naples as a couple of the heavy hitters scurry to get their buggies ready. We'll be back right after this.
The drama is so thick here, you could cut it with a knife, and we're here to cover it. I'm Paul Page with Brock Yates and Steve Evans. Terry Langford's crew still working on his machine, trying to get the frame re-welded.
And lots of activity here in the Roy Ortega pit. An electrical gremlin continues to haunt them. They cannot get any power to the starter motor on that engine. Ortega at the front keeps trying the switch. The crew at the back, they're wiggling things and spraying all kinds of moisture proofing on it. Nothing seems to work.
And the clock ticks away for old Roy because the chief starter has called the finalists in the four-cylinder two-wheel drive class to the line. And unless he gets that thing fired up in the next couple of seconds, he's on the trailer.
We're going to be minus Ortega as Paul Williams